Please don't forget, like, share, subscribe and hit the bell. You know it makes sense. Come on, you Irons. Hello, welcome to Falls from Iron. I am Gatesy, your host. First story I want to bring to your attention, and you will find this on the One Football website, and if you look in the description below, you will find a link where you can install the One Football app to your mobile device. And basically what it does is you put in the teams that you follow. So in my case, it will be West Ham and England, and it will put all of the stories for West Ham and England into one very convenient place for you to get at your own convenience. So the first story I want to bring to you from the One Football app, and it's saying that David Moyes may well go for Ollie Watkins, who's currently at Aston Villa. It was £28 million when he went from Brentford in the Championship at the time to Premier League Aston Villa. Now, I've got to be honest, I've been a fan of his for a little while. I remember, obviously, he was at Brentford, where he was in a front three lineup of our very own Saeed Benrahma and Brian Mbeumo either side of him. He was the central of the three. And the story goes that David Moyes is interested in bringing him into London Stadium. His first season at Aston Villa was a very good season. He had a really good season in the Premier League debut season, but for whatever reason this season it's not quite been as good as it was previously. Now, is it second season syndrome? Is it the fact that Villa signed Danny Ings, and for a little while Ollie Watkins was played on the wide to accommodate Danny Ings? I don't know. I think his confidence probably taken a little bit of a hit. I don't know whether Steven Gerrard may well be open to possibly moving on Ollie Watkins, because obviously don't forget he wasn't the manager that signed him, so it may well be that Ollie Watkins is not what Steven Gerrard is after. Well, if he's seriously being looked at by David Moyes, I got to say, I think he would be a fantastic signing. He's a young, hungry English international. He's still yet to hit his peak. He's scored goals in the Premier League, so he knows the terrain. Yes, this season's been a little bit of a sticky patch for him, but I do still think that he's got the qualities that we need in a striker. He's strong, he's hungry, he's got an eye for goal. So for me, I think that if David Moyes wants to bring Ollie Watkins in, I would be very, very happy with that. And I do wonder, because I know a lot of people say that Saeed Benrahma's time at the club is probably going to be coming to a close in the summer. I'm not too sure, you know. I mean, if he gets Ollie Watkins in, I do wonder whether David Moyes might think about renewing their partnership, which was very, very fruitful. Yes, it was in the Championship, I get that, but I just wonder, because obviously we spent a lot of money on Saeed Benrahma, £25 million, and I wonder if Ollie Watkins comes through the door, would that possibly cause a bit of a resurgence in Benrahma's form? I got to say, I think that Benrahma can turn it on. He can be an excellent player on occasions, but I can understand why people get the ump with him. There's other games where you look at him and he's not selecting the right options. He's passing when he should be shooting or whatever. And I just wonder whether, if David Moyes gets Ollie Watkins through the door, whether that might mean that possibly Saeed Benrahma's time at West Ham isn't coming to a close, maybe Benrahma would get the best out of Watkins and Watkins would get the best out of Benrahma. I don't know. It's worth thinking about. But even if we do move Saeed Benrahma on and we bring in Ollie Watkins, it would still be a bit of business that I think maybe needs to happen. I do wonder whether in actual fact, whether it might be that Benrahma may even be used as a make weight for Watkins to perhaps come to London Stadium. That's maybe another option, that maybe if Steven Gerrard looks at Saeed Benrahma and thinks that he'd be a better fit at Villa Park than he has been at London Stadium, maybe it would be something that would work for both parties. I don't know. It's an interesting one, but certainly as far as Ollie Watkins is concerned, he's a player I'd be very, very interested in. And let's face it, we've needed a goal scorer for a little while now, 18 months, 2 years, you could argue. Certainly since we moved Sebastian Haller on. And of course, the moment he leaves London Stadium, he starts scoring goals. And they're talking about him going to another Premier League team. I've heard Manchester United mentioned. And wouldn't you just know it, he'll probably go to Old Trafford and he'll probably score 20, 25 goals a season. He'll probably score a hat-trick when he plays us next. It's just one of those things. Sometimes a piece of the jigsaw doesn't fit. Doesn't matter how much you want it to. But as far as Ollie Watkins is concerned, yeah, I'd be all over that. He cost £28 million to Aston Villa, as I say. Whether he's going to cost that much again, probably not, because obviously his contract's 2 years further along. And I think you could probably argue that on the basis of this season's performance, is he a £28 million player? Possibly not. On the first season, I would say he probably justified that tag. This season, less so. But let me know your thoughts. You've got the comment section below. Would you be happy at Ollie Watkins coming into London Stadium as a striker option? Give us your thoughts. The next story I want to touch on from the One Football app real quickly is there's an interview that David Moyes has done where he makes the comment about his hopes that the run that we're on so far and hopefully will continue to do, and our progress in the Premier League, etc., will inspire a new generation of fans to follow the club and have aspirations and dreams of one day pulling on the claret and blue jersey at London Stadium. This is exactly what I want to hear, and it's something that does bug me. And maybe I'm a little bit of a dinosaur. I mean, I'm 46 years of age, and I'm obviously someone that grew up in a different era to the children that exist now. I just find it quite strange that I walk around where I live in Dartford in Kent, and I quite often see kids wandering around in Man City shirts, and I dare say that probably in years to come, in the not too distant future, I'll see kids wandering around in Newcastle shirts. And I know that the internet and Sky TV is a big catalyst behind this situation where you've got kids that don't have an obvious connection, family affiliation with an area, with a team, and they're just latching onto a team because they're winning everything. And I get it, but it's just something that rankles with me, that I was always brought up with the notion that you should support a team that is in a reasonable geographical area to yourself. And I mean, although I'm not an East Ender and I'm not from Essex, I'm actually from South London, but I am from London, so it's not like I'm supporting a team that's hundreds of miles away, which I find quite a strange thing. But the thing about the inspiring a new generation, that's exactly what I want to hear, because I want to have more kids in the East London, Essex area and the wider metropolitan London. thank you very much indeed for listening, ladies and gentlemen, and please don't forget to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and make sure you hit that bell icon for alerts on new content as and when we upload it to the channel. Come on, you Irons.